Hmm, hmm, hmm. Uh, Hello, subscribers, patrons, fans, followers, and supporters. This is Johnson Blackhorse, and this is my first Let's Animate. Probably not going to be doing all too much. I'm just going to be cleaning up or animating some frames and cleaning them up and maybe coloring them. And then perhaps I'll do a little preview later on. But yeah, it's just little live stream, just showing my little bit of my animation process. So let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in some music, some music. Again, I'm gonna be listening to like a previous music I was listening to before in my last live stream, which is music from oh shoot, what were their names? Uh, Concept Sama and Alice Mako. I'm terrible at remembering names. This is awful. Hold on, I gotta clean my glasses. I don't know if anyone heard that. I instead of breathing on my glasses, I burped on them. Okay, didn't smudge them up any. Uh, should have cleaned my glasses before I even started. Wonder what it looks like I'm doing. It doesn't look like I'm doing anything. There we go. This thing, adjust that a little bit. All right. No. A little higher. Is that good? Yeah, that's good. I wonder if I can mess with these settings on the fly a little bit. Oh, I can. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That'll do. That'll do. Yeah, let's get some music. Gonna start off with Alice Mako because a lot of her stuff seems to be pretty high energy, and then later on, as we start to mellow out, dip into Concept Sama. And their music is linked in the description section below. Uh, oh, this sounds pretty dark. Life is short, death is forever. Oh wait, oh, wait. There we go. There we go. Turn it down a little bit. All right. Okay, okay. So here's that first YouTube animation I've been working on for a while, and the previous scene, I finally finished some of this. I don't know um, if anyone. Well, I previewed this animation a few times before, and last time I previewed it, there was like just more or less just the blue line sketches. But here, as you can see, I was able to detail it and color it, and just do the mouth syncing, lip syncing. And I think for the most part, the most challenging thing was to just outline all the movements and plan, like pre-plan, like a lot of the outlines and coloring ahead of time, just so like the movements would make sense. And for me, lip syncing, like a lot of people think it's like one of the some people say it's like one of the hardest things to do, but it's actually pretty easy. It's like when you get down into it. Uh, I like to make my lips a little expressive, and I don't know if you were able to tell, but I do like reuse a lot of the lip movements, but at the same time, I like to keep some of the lip movements pretty original. So as you can see, like with the tilt of my animated head over here, like the angle of the mouth will shift. I don't just like reuse the same lips and um, just angle it differently. Like no, I redraw each of those frames. I'm 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 freaking insane. Oh shoot. Oh great. Oh it's yeah. It'll do that from time to time because the whole automatic save function. I've been wanting to turn down the frequency of it, but I haven't bothered to look into how to do that. But as you can see here, like my head goes back to like somewhat of like the neutral pose, but then I'll draw like a whole different set of like mouth animations to suit like the characteristic of what I'm saying. So as you can see here, like instead of like utilizing like a standard like a R type mouth pose or like copying a previous one I did, like I have it more, or I redrew it more off to the side so it can just have a little more character into whatever it is the hell I'm talking about. And like the beard is like has to be redrawn for each pose, but I keep that on a separate layer. That way, like when I start throwing in the paint, like the colors, like the beard doesn't get in the way. So I just keep that in a different layer just so I don't have to worry about it when it comes down to coloring it and painting it. And as you can see, like the mustache and little soul patch I have there, like it's animated with the mouth, just to keep all of that in line. So the beard stays static for the majority of like each pose, while the mustache and the little soul patch is animated with the mouth, along with my little um, beauty mark there. I'm so pretty. And this was a pretty neat trick if like people don't uh, um, for people who are just getting used to Flash, like to do this motion tween, I utilized a graphic instead of a movie clip. Now, for those who are familiar with Flash, well, it's Adobe Animate now, but instead of using a movie clip, as you can see here in the properties, let's see. Oh, I gotta have it selected first. Duh. Duh. Okay, I selected it, and as you can see here in the little properties window, I have it as a graphic. And why that is because when exporting it into a movie, the export it won't export a movie clip, and for some reason it will export an animated graphic. So that's why I have like this animation, this little graphic here. I have it as a graphic instead of a movie clip, just for the sole purpose that when it exports, it'll actually export that animation. Because if you have it as a movie clip and you try to export it as a movie, it'll only export that the first image that you see here, and all you'll see is that image just panning along and doing whatever without any of the animation to it. So if you make it a graphic, you can go into the graphic itself, and here I made the mouth like I also made the mouth like an animated graphic. And here, like the mouth is animated, as you can see. We come out and like in the first stage of the graphic, and the beard is a grouped image, the body is a grouped image, but the mouth is a graphic. And then we come back out here, and that whole image here is a graphic. Because if I were to turn it into a, let's see, pose. I don't. I don't think I can change it here, but in the properties, if I were to turn it into a movie clip, I hope this doesn't mess it up. If I were to turn it into a movie clip, as you can see here, like the mouth isn't animating. So like even when you're scrubbing the timeline, the movie clip doesn't animate. and I don't know why that is. But if you export it in a FLA file, the movie clip will animate. But when you try to export it as a MP4 or a movie, it'll be like what you see here, like just a sliding still graphic. So um, let me go ahead and just undo that. So if it's a graphic and we scrub the timeline, you can see that the lips are animated. And it's so weird how that's set up, but that's how it is. So if anyone's struggling with previewing like movie clips, animated movie clips in your Adobe Animate file, like I suggest or highly recommend that you just opt to just have them be animated graphic, um, um, not files. Well, just animated graphics, animated graphic utilities. No, what would be the other word for them? Oh well, just animated graphics. And let me zoom out here. So as you can see, like the mouth animates for a while, and it only like animated the mouth long enough until the mouth was off frame, and then once the mouth is off frame, like I didn't bother animating any more than that. Because in this scene here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to composite like the image of um, the Adobe Creative Cloud logo in my hand as it just kind of like magically appears, just like poof. And then it's going to do like a little sparkly sprinkle thing. And as I'm talking about the programs that I'm able to utilize in the Adobe Cloud, like the other logos for the other programs that I'm using are just going to come out of the one graphic, and they're just going to be all mystical and everything. So that's what I've been working on. That's what I worked on yesterday. I finished the coloring of scene three. Well, scene two. Wait, no, scene two is done. Well, scene three, I finished all this morning and colored it this morning, and I put scene four together. This whole like sliding motion tween animated graphic. And just a couple of hours ago, I started animating the next phase of this animation, and I'm trying to make it as epic as possible, but I'm making it so hard on myself. But like I think, well, the part of the thing is I want to be like pretty, I want it to be pretty memorable and pretty impactful, so I'm putting a lot of just oomph into it. And I guess I'll just get to it. Ugh. So what I'm using here is the brush tool to like start painting or inking my lines. Like as you can see, I don't have like any details sketched out because I'm just trying to like just go at this and get as much done tonight as possible. And tomorrow I'm gonna try to wake up pretty early and go to the DMV and get myself a new ID. It's like because like I lost my wallet a while ago, and I've been meaning to get a new ID, but it's just the hassle of going all the way down to the DMV. I didn't have the money at the time, and just needing to find out what exactly I need to bring in order to acquire a new ID. So I guess I just need to bring my old ID, proof of residence. You know, like a power bill, just like showing them like, hey, I still live at this address. Here's my old ID, and my my existing ID, like it's still valid. It should be in the it should be on record that it's not expired or anything. I just lost it because I'm always in a rush whenever I'm biking around here and there. So like yeah, my ID, everything about my ID is valid. Like, well, it's still up to date. So like I just have to show like my old ID mail saying that I still live here, and guess 20 or so bucks. See, it's doing that save, automatic save, says saving for auto recovery. And I think it does that like every, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. I kind of want to find out like how you turn down the frequency of that, because sometimes it gets a little annoying, like especially when I'm like getting in the zone, just animating and inking, and then all of a sudden like my flow is interrupted by the automatic save function. And sometimes if I'm working too fast and I don't notice that that Adobe Animate is trying to automatically save my progress, I'll put in too many commands and then accidentally just crash the program. That's happened just the one time so far, but thankfully nothing was lost. But I try to be mindful of when things lock up. I just shouldn't touch anything because it's just busy saving at that moment, and just let it do its thing. And then when it's done, just get back to animating. So yeah, this is what I've been doing today. Turn on my onion skin. Something else I noticed today, like I'm pretty sure like they were released earlier. I just didn't notice it. I wasn't just I didn't I guess I did. I just didn't see the update or whatever. But I was on Hulu and they had like new episodes of My Hero Academia, and I really dig that show. It's pretty fun. So that's what I was watching earlier. Don't know which episode I'm on. I haven't been keeping track of the numbers, but yeah, I was watching My Hero Academia and just dinking around on YouTube, looking at all the latest news and the whole Trump debacle, or checking out UFO footage or paranormal stuff or Vine videos, and just mindless YouTube stuff. Like I'll put it on every now and then, like when I feel like I want to take a break. But some of that UFO footage is pretty wild, especially like the seeing that whole like news disclosure of the kind of, well, more or less the admittance of like an Air Force official or something like that, admitting to the world that he was dealing with a UFO, like a something out of this world, but like it just pretty much fell. Well, that news just pretty much fell to the wayside due to the political climate. Like everyone's too caught up in this whole uh, presidential issue at the moment. They're too worried about that rather than the possibility of just like legitimized, like a legitimized and fully disclosed UFO sighting by someone who's working in the armed forces is pretty cool. Oh, hey, Jessica. Stop screaming at me. Ow, my freaking ears. Oh, wait. Try to say that in, was it Rod Flanders' voice? Ow, my freaking ears. Not as good as I used to be when I was a kid. But how you doing, Jessica? Glad to see you. You're screaming at me again. I'm doing okay. It's been kind of a pretty eventful weekend. My roommate brought his cousins, and they were up to a lot of drinking, and brought me along too. And some of the drinking escapades, but I didn't bother getting too drunk because like that's not me anymore. That's not me. I can't party like I used to. Woo, drinking. Yeah. So I was hoping to do like a live stream yesterday, but I was indisposed after all the boozing. Oh, and I like stayed up. Oh man, I went to sleep at 12, and they woke me up at friggin' 2 in the morning to drink, and I only had like a couple of beers, and then like I went ahead and got some more beers, like another 12 pack, and then me and my roommate's cousin, we just crushed that thing, and then went out, got a couple more tall boys. He was trying to hit on just random chicks who were just walking their way to work because it was like at that point it was like 5 in the morning. But he's a he's a ton of fun. Like he's a heavy set fellow, and he's just like hilarious. And then I cooked breakfast. I made some Navajo flatbread with I guess you would call them home fries. Just like diced up a bunch of potatoes, fried those up, mixed in some sausages, like chopped up some sausages, threw those sausages into the cooked potatoes, and cracked some like eggs on top of that, and mixed that all up, and made the Navajo like flatbread. And what that is, it's like tortilla bread, but like fluffier, and like oh my god, it's delicious. And I'm getting better at it. Like I'll never be as good as my mom, like when she makes Navajo flatbread, but or Navajo fry bread. Like, oh, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better. But oh man, it's delicious. It's so delicious. Oh my god! Like I should cook some right now, or just make a start like a cooking like live stream, or make some cooking videos, and just show you guys how I do it up in the kitchen. It's so good. Jessica says yum. No doubt. Hell yeah. Think I'll make thinking about making something tomorrow since it's Labor Day. No work tomorrow. Yeah. But I'm unemployed or self-employed, so it doesn't matter for me. No. I'm self-employed and my boss is a dick. Fuck that guy. Yeah. Hmm. Oh yeah, come to think of it, I gotta do my boss's laundry tomorrow. He's running pretty low on socks. Yeah, I gotta sleep with him too. We share a bed, and we shower together. Scrub his back. He washes my undercarriage. It's somewhat of a symbiotic relationship, but you know what? He's still an ass. uh, but don't let him know I said that. Otherwise, he'll fire me. Nah, screw that. He knows how valuable I am. He'd never fire me. Jeez. Black horse, you're fired. No. Let's see. Whoops. People might be wondering why I'm putting so much effort into detailing something that's not even in the stage area. And what the stage area is this white area right here. And it's usually like only stuff in the white area that's shown. But the reason I'm like detailing like things that aren't in the stage is that if I turn this thing into a animated graphic, I might see fit to like just resize it and move it around or tween it. So I don't know what's going to be in frame and what isn't. So I'm going to just go ahead and detail like more or less as much as I can. Gulp. Mm-hmm. Hey, Skullhead's here. What's up, boy? I'm not good at that. Don't ever do that again, Black Horse. You're not that cool. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Skullhead's asking me what's going on. None much, just animating. Just trying to bring this first animated project closer to completion and hoping to release it later this coming week. See if it can bring in some more patrons, kick up some revenue, start earning mad monies, and continue some of the animated projects that I've been dreaming about. Oh, it's this. This isn't for the story video just yet. I started this a while ago, and I titled it "First Animated Video" for YouTube, and I want to get this done just to spark interest in my channel, and then I'm gonna work on my. Do I have the? Do I have it up? No, I don't. Let me bring up that file real quick. Do 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 do. Where are you? Um, Patreon content? No, it's not there. Um, oh, there it is. Just bring up the rough sketch I was working on, during one of my live streams. But whoops, wrong window. Trying to adjust things in the wrong window. There we go. Yeah, here's the latest sketch of those characters. And I think I'm getting the style pretty closer to like what I want to animate when I start the project. Because the first various variations of these sketches, for the most part, they seem more or less generic across the board. Like they look too like similar to each other, and I wanted them to have their own characteristics. So like their facial expressions are closer to what I have imagined, and then just like kind of chasing up or changing up their facial features, like their nose. Like Bedelia here has a button nose. Beatrice Beatrice has somewhat more of like a pointed nose, and Rose here has like a one of those sloping noses, I guess. But I'm hoping to start writing like the introductory like videos where you're first introduced to these characters pretty soon. But first, I want to get this animation done and out of the way to generate interest in my channel and the Patreon page and get more patrons, and then I'll um, work on that project a lot more, as well as the usual stuff like the furry auctions and whatever. Just work on those in tandem just to supplement my income and such. Oh man, it'd be so much easier if I were allowed to draw porn. Stupid government, stupid laws, stupid judge. Once I take over, they'll see. once I'm elected president, yeah, yeah, they don't even know. Oh God, bitter much? Pff, yes, violating my constitutional rights, and I'll see to it that these transgressions against the Constitution will be um, those people who transgress against the Constitution will be fully held accountable for their un-American acts and such. Oh, Jessica's got a question mark. Do do you not know what happened to me? Oh wow. Oh, well, I feel like I've talked about it a lot, but I'm planning on like saving a lot of that for like some more future like animated videos to to illustrate it and just like bring awareness to like a lot of the bullshit the government's up to. But yeah, like I think I'll just save that for another time. It's like I've ranted and raved about it until I'm blue in the face, but it's like it's all up on my blog or in my previous like YouTube videos. Like you'll be able to catch up on what's there. Yeah. Just be forewarned, Jessica, that once you read up on my story, you might have a very different opinion of me, but it's okay. Like I've had many people drop me like a hot rock because of the events in my life thus far. So if your opinion of me changes, it's fine. I'm used to it. Skullhead says, "Once you go Black Horse." Well, thanks go to yes, I was about to say Thanks go to Skullhead for reminding me of Newgrounds Radio and and bringing me or bringing to light some of the talented Newgrounds artists that create some pretty decent music. And right now, I'm currently listening to Alice Mako. Just because she has some pretty energetic stuff a lot of the time. And I'll probably listen to Concept Sama's stuff later. Yeah, the links to their music will be in the description below. Yeah. Shoot, is he online right now? Let me send him a little message. Let him know I'm streaming right now. Right the F now! Exclamation point. 3 of them. There we go. That should get his attention. Such a freaking dork. Your jokes are bad and you should feel bad. Skullhead says he's glad I do late night streams, though sadly he's only able to catch them after evening shifts. Whoa. Working hard for the money. So hard for the money. Working hard for the money. I was I was gonna do like a live stream like earlier, like Saturday, like just early afternoon on Saturday. But as I stated earlier, Skullhead, you weren't here. Like I got into some drinking. I didn't get into any trouble or nothing. It's just like my roommate brought his cousins over, and they all woke me up at 2 in the morning, and we started drinking, and then just kept drinking more, and just really just hung out here at my apartment, and I cooked breakfast. It was pretty neat. It was pretty cool, but yeah, I was too out of it to do any live streaming on Saturday. Burp. Don't be gross, Skullhead. I'm just joking. Who hasn't had an early morning rub and tug? Whoops. Oh, Skullhead has no more beers. We'll have one more after this. Skullhead says he picked up a carbonated coffee and vodka drink, which tasted alright until the last bit, which tasted like ass. Yeah, I've heard some horror stories about some of those drinks, like the caffeinated. Well, they're like alcoholic energy drinks, and I think they even happened here in here in Vegas. Some people took on like this. Oh, what was it? What was it called? I can't even remember the name of the drink. Four Locos. It was the drinks were called Four Locos, and my roommates here. What was that? My roommate says that that drink is ass. But yeah, I guess like a few young dudes took on took on like a what they call the four locos challenge, and you have to drink like four locos within a set amount of time. And friggin' one of them died out. Like his heart gave out because the mixture of energy drinks with alcohol like does something to your blood vessels, and what it did is just like put too much strain on his heart, and friggin' he died trying to drink four locos in like a certain amount of time, and then it ended up killing him. So I've never bothered to take any of those drinks because knowing myself, I get heart palpitations when I get too stressful, and I think this comes from a time that when I was in college, I used to get a lot of panic attacks, and it took me years to get over it. So nowadays, I don't get any panic attacks, but I never want to have another one again. And I'm afraid if I have like something like a Four Locos or anything of that nature, I'm afraid I'm afraid that it would bring on a panic attack, and like panic attacks aren't fun. They are not fun at all. So yeah, I tend to avoid drinks like that. I shall BRB. Whoops. Blowing water in the jug. Yeah, we got water in the cabinet, but I didn't know we were out on the 3 liter or three gallon. Uh, and I am back. Whoops. Burp. Yeah, Scarlett's saying that he's also had panic attacks in the past before. Yeah, panic attacks. Shoot, they really suck. Whoops. Oops.
I would not wish. I would not advise anybody to play for 4 hours basketball.
Yeah.
If you don't eat much, like if you don't eat a lot,
Yeah.
that day, dude, you start shaking like really bad.
Oh.
Yeah, I like shaking right now.
Hmm. Why haven't I deleted this yet? Whoops. What is that? Huh. Always forgetting the big red booties. What booties? Where? Where are the booties? Oh, BRB, big red booties. Okay, I get it. Yay, Jessica's back. Oh, you saw my blog or you watched some videos? I thought you were probably indisposed getting something to eat or something. Huh, that was fast. Jessica's a really quick study. Yeah. Yes, you are. You're fast. You're super fast. So fast. Frankenstein never scared me. Marsupials do because they're fast. The not safe for work black horse. Oh, but to be Skullhead says, but to be truly up to date, you got to find those art and animation files from old Black Horse, the not safe for work Black Horse. In other words, my other artistic persona, Natus_01, that rascal. Wait, what? Oh, okay. uh, Jessica says she's looked up my other personas. Um, for anyone watching at a later date, like if you're not, if you're, uh, I, huh, if you're questionable or wary of very obscene artwork, do not look up Natus_01 for your own for your own safety. If you're one of those people who are like drawings are just drawings and nothing bothers you, then like by all means look it up. But if you're pretty iffy on like obscene drawn content, then don't look up my other persona. Skullet says those were the days. Bianca also had some good action. Jessica says I will neither confirm or deny what I have or have not found. Skullet says really I recommend. uh, Skullet says he recommends Lowly Man. Lowly Man. Wait, is that another artist or something? Lowly Man. Yes, I draw some pretty raunchy stuff. Oh, hey, Cal Locken. Oh, Skullhead says I'm Lowly Man. um, I guess as I'm to understand, I am one of the greats that are out there among some of the other lowly artists. Man, I miss talking to those guys. I wonder what they're up to. Why haven't any of them heard of my streams or anything? I'd like to contact them myself, but in order to do so, I'd have to visit some pretty raunchy sites, which I'm not allowed to do. like I don't even know if they know I'm alive. Oh shoot. My roommate's taking a shower and I got a leak. No, the government didn't take away my old pals. I'm just not allowed to contact anybody. Well, not that I'm not allowed to contact them. It's just like the only way I can contact them is to visit some of the old sites that I used to visit, but I'm not allowed to. And well, just because they contain pornography and the whole like friggin' a lot of the restrictions I'm on are just like so unconstitutional in and of themselves. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like now that I'm out of prison, I'm forced to live as a secondary class citizen for the rest of my life, more or less. Whereas, like anyone else that have committed like more horrendous crimes don't have to live under the same stigma that I have to live under. And here, like friggin', it's not like I committed any hands-on offense, and like people would be more willing to demonize me than anyone else that has actually committed like a friggin' hands-on like a murder or something. That sucks. Use a oh. Jessica was telling me to use a bucket. It's like use a bucket for what? Like oh yeah, I gotta take a leak. What's the bucket for? Guess. Uh, well, in any case, I'm glad that you guys are still willing to converse with me and such, and just I don't know, like everything that I've been through and the whole stigma I have to face and what I was led to believe. I was led to believe like friggin' I'd be alone afterwards, just fucking nothing to look forward to. But it's just pretty cool that I get to interact with you guys through this stream. Because otherwise, like friggin', I'm pretty lonely. Yeah, it's great getting to converse with other people out there, like because having the stigma associated with me, like I'm afraid of like just reaching out and just getting to know people on like a first-hand basis. Because IRL, I've lost a lot of friends, acquaintances, work opportunities just because of my status. But I'm glad I still have family. You know, like freaking family doesn't give a shit. It's like, well, you didn't hurt anybody, right? And like, no, never. It's like, freaking, well, what's the problem then? It's like, yeah, right. And they're like, I think their disdain for the government just grew even more after this whole freaking incident with me. And here it seems like the government's operating under the assumption like, hey, we're helping everybody, we're helping his family, blah blah blah, and my family could care less. It's like fucking they'd prefer that they stay the fuck out of my business. It's like fucking all they want is to have me come home, but I'm freaking stuck here. I'd love to go back to the res. I've been away from the reservation for too long, way too long. And me and my family still stay in touch. Like I call my sister every now and then, or text her every now and then. I call my mother every now and then. They'd love nothing more than to have me come home, but the government wants me here so they can friggin' keep an eye on me. It's friggin' BS. I'm just reading the chat. Jessica says she's back. Skullhead says it's pretty great being able to. Oh yeah, I already said. I already read those. Was worried about annoying you with deviant art notes though. No, like I check my notes and my messages often, just like wondering if people are trying to reach out to me. Cal Larkin says I'm no moral arbiter. You seem like a good guy. Thanks. Um, Scarlett says online family too. Yeah, like after jumping back on Facebook, like a bunch of my family is just like friggin' reached out and gotten back in touch with me. Cause there's like pretty much no love lost there. Hmm. But I'd like to go back to the res, live somewhat of a simple life, and chill out for a while. I moved away from the reservation when I was 18, and now I'm 35. I've only been back to the reservation for like rare visits every now and then because I just couldn't afford it. I was too busy just following the whims of my ex when we were together and friggin' visiting her family and just bending over backwards for her. Glad that's over. That was a that was just a really toxic relationship, and it's too bad it had to end the way it did because it ended up with me in prison. But it's like After it was all said and done, she contacted my sister and she apologized for everything that she did to me. Oh, fuck. Here she sends me to prison over a matter of images when she's actually had some hands on victims herself. And extorted about $20,000 from me. Wish I had that money right now. Wait, Cal Larkin, are you familiar with my story? Did she get her comeuppance? As far as I know, never. Like I brought this all up to my attorney, but they never moved on it. They were more focused on me. Nope. Yeah, my ex actually had a hand in raping like friggin' several young teens. But this was all laid out before me before she sent me to prison. And then after all that, she had the gall to extort me for money. And here I was, I never laid a hand on anybody. Yeah, hypocrite. Yeah, that's right. But all that took place far before she ever met me. And when we were together, I was more or less the best thing that happened in her life, according to her, till all that shit went down. Oh, wow. This stream just got too heavy. Where's the music? What happened to the music? There we go. There we go. Well, I never have to deal with her again. But I think it was 2 weeks ago I started having these dreams that just of just running into her, and they're like just like freaking stressful. Yeah, it's time to change the subject. It's a freaking real downer. Um, oh, BRB.
Like on attack, link. Hey, your glasses. It kind of fell on the toilet brush, so watch.
And I'm back. Uh, uh. Scarlett says he's been having dreams of beer stores running out of beer. You've been dreaming about the apocalypse. Oh no! Jessica, that would be awful. Jessica dreamed of pig. Jessica dreamed pigs went extinct. Like that means no more bacon, no more pork chops, no more pork sausage, no more ham, no more ham hocks. That would be terrible. Like, she was so sad when she woke up. Like, shoot, I'd be sad too. And then just like friggin' get like a bacon cheeseburger, Weston bacon cheeseburger. Carl Arkin came out with the uh, Blade Runner reference. He says he dreams of electric sheep. I actually got to read that novel while I was in prison. It's not as I guess it's not as dark as the movie. It somewhat ends on weird note, but well, I guess it's not as intense as the movie. There are some pretty gritty parts in it, but it's definitely like pretty different. The new one, I saw the new one. Um, I don't remember much from the new one. All I remember is that it was depressing. It's cool, it's slow, but it's depressing. Oh God, it was so sad. Cal Harkin's asking me if I want to hear depressing. Yeah, sure, I'll hear it. Burp. Excuse me. Cal Harkin says the last Alien movie. It was bad. Oh no. What was it called? What's the last Alien movie? Covenant. Oh, Covenant. Covenant. Did I already watch that? Hold on, I'm gonna pull up the trailer real quick. Oh wait, no, this isn't it. I was watching the Covenant trailer, not Alien Covenant trailer. No, I haven't seen this one yet. Huh. Not sure what to think about the trailer, but if you say it's bad, that would suck. Well, the previous movie before the Covenant, that I didn't enjoy it at all. Like there were just so many leaps in logic for that movie, and it was like, I just I couldn't enjoy it because there's just too many things that were like just somewhat nonsensical. So I wouldn't be too surprised if the Covenant was bad. Scarlett says that is hell not watching a series. Go shit if good bad movie fix watch trauma films. Cal Arkin says H.R. Geiger would come back from the dead, get his alien back. It's that bad. Oh, that's like the I've seen some like a new game coming out. I think it's called The Scorn or something. And like it's so HR Geiger influenced. I would love to play that game. It just oh god, it's so creepy. To watch an interesting bad movie, I'd watch Super Mario Brothers. Jessica Darkfire says I liked that movie when I was a kid. Super Mario Brothers. Cal Arkin says Prometheus. Yeah, Prometheus is the movie I was talking about. There were just so many like leaps in logic in it that just kind of it just annoyed me. Cal Larkin says, I love the setup and set design, but I came to terms with it being a little dumb. Yeah, well, we're scoring that one. Jessica says, she still loves the Super Mario Brothers movie. uh, is it because you have a crush on John Leguizamo? I'm pretty sure. Is that the reason? Oh, I love John Leguizamo in that Romeo and Juliet movie. It's like he's just so cool in that one. Peace, peace. I hate the word, as I hate hell, all Montague, and thee. I feel that movie was pretty unappreciated. It's like as much flack as that movie gets, I still enjoyed it at the time and even years afterwards. Jessica says, "LOL." She doesn't know if it's because if she enjoys the movie Super Mario Brothers because she has a John Leguizamo crush. Oh, I'm missing some music. Where's the music? There it is. I found it. I found the music. Yeah, the contemporary Romeo and Juliet. It's all modern and shit with DiCaprio. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I haven't watched it in a while. I think I might have to watch it again, but I think I'd still enjoy it. And I love the soundtrack to it. One of my cousins had the soundtrack, and I would just like listen to it all the time. And one of the things I do as an animator is like I'll listen to music and think about like animated sequences to go to that music. And for the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack, I would think about how I would reanimate and revisualize like a lot of the scenes that they had in the movie. And I tend to do that to like a lot of soundtracks that I listen to. Is like, how would I reanimate like this storyline? And it's had me like this is a thought I've had like on and off for like a few years now. Is like, what if I were to like do like a small series where I would take, um, well, like a small animated segment where I would take like a scene from a movie and reimagine it and reanimate it, and I would title it like oh, well, I'm still messing around with the title, but something to do with like the three, well, like something to do with three R's. Is like revisited, reimagined, and reanimated. Yeah, and I would take a scene from a movie with the soundtrack and just reanimate it. And I would do this with like I did. I would reanimate or I'm sorry, reimagine how I would animate like scenes I would visualize when like listening to the Romeo and Juliet soundtrack, and like various other movies I would like listen to the soundtrack of. Um, Fifth Element being one of them. I guess one of the more recent ones, but I think that would be a pretty fun project to work on. Uh, well, let's see how this animation looks so far. Are we are we are we ready? Are we all here? Is everyone present and accounted for? Oh, Skullhead's talking about my idea of like reanimating scenes from movies, like doing that like a Grindhouse film, and like yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. Like Tarantino films would be pretty fun to work on. There were like a few movies I was thinking about doing that too, like with even with specific scenes, not even including soundtracks, but I can't remember them right now. I'd probably have to rewatch like a whole bunch of movies just to like remember some of the scenes that I want to just reanimate. And I'm glad like you guys are like understanding what I'm saying, because when I was trying to like talk about this with my ex, or like when she was my girlfriend at the time, like she thought I was like talking about rotoscoping, like the movie shot for shot is like, no, that's not what I'm talking about at all. Just like taking the scene, the dialogue, and everything, and just like reimagining like the shots and the scenes and reanimating them in like a completely different style and everything. But yeah, anyway, that aside, like let's preview this thing. All right, pause on the music. Whoops, I'm I'm in the wrong program. There we go. Okay, let's do this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Johnston Blackhorse, and I welcome you to my first animated video. Pretty fancy, eh? Yeah, look at me. I'm animated. Woo, 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 woo. All right, that's enough of that. I just wanted to make this announcement saying thanks to my current Patreon patrons and supporters. With your contributions, commissions, and Patreon patronage, I was able to invest in the Adobe Cloud. With this, I now have full access to all the programs needed to create amazing animations for your enjoyment. Soon, I will rise in the ranks of great animators and gain the title of Overlord and Commander of this reality. And that's as far as we have right now. I still got a long way to go, but it's looking pretty good. Oh, oh, so many, so many frames to do. But let's keep at it. Music. What? Sorry about that. uh, but what do you all think so far? Skullhead says, "Rise in the ranks. You're already there, yo." Well, I guess after I post this, I'm hoping I'll dethrone a lot of YouTube animators. Oh shoot, I shouldn't say that. I feel like if I say that, I feel like I'm being full of myself. But I'm hoping like this when I release this, it'll generate a lot of interest in my YouTube channel and gain a lot of Patreon support. Kalakin says it's awesome. Wait, I said music? I'm drunk. Was I saying music when I was trying to refer to something else? Yeah, yeah. I guess I'm drunk. Oh, I guess I said music when I was trying to refer to my animation. It's so embarrassing. Stupid drunk animator. He can animate well, but he doesn't know what he's talking about half the time. How can a drunk be so good at animating, yet can't can't convey what he's trying to talk about in the proper words. Oh, Cal Larkin says, no, when you said music, it came on loud. So when I said music, 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 music. So when I said the word music, it came loud. I don't know. I guess I had to be there. While I was there, I guess I wasn't paying attention, which uh, which happens a lot. Oh, it's an official drunk stream. Yeah, let's get wasted. But this is my last beer, so I don't think that's completely possible. Cal Larkin has no booze. Cal Larkin says he drank all his booze earlier this weekend. That sucks. Oh, I wish I had more. I the blah, 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 blah. Can't even talk right now. I wish I had more booze too. Burp. Whiskey. Cal Larkin does it harder than I do. I can't drink hard liquors. I get crazy. I tend to get a little out of hand. I believe we've all heard me tell the stories of how nutso I get. Jessica's had some Lagavulin tonight. It was nice. I don't know what Lagavulin, 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 Lagavulin. I don't know what I'm saying. Skullhead says he's trying to spend less so he can invest in a replacement monitor tablet in the near future. So that means cutting down on beers. I should do the same. They should. Cal Larkin says they should go on installing beer taps in houses. So you'd have to pay like a water bill and a beer bill. I got to pay my beer utilities this month. Man, I wonder how. I wonder how that would taste if you just had beer on tap on a faucet provided by the city. That'd be nuts. I doubt it would taste all that great, but it's like beer on tap all the time at your house. That'd be weird just not being able to pay your beer bill. And it's like, oh man, I've been sober for the last 3 weeks. Dude, just friggin', I couldn't pay my beer bill this month. It sucks. Beer should be a human right. They should teach beer brewing classes in college or something. When I'm elected president, I will make, uh, well, I will legalize moonshine. Anyone who wants to fabricate their own alcohol can do so without any legal repercussions. A vote for Black Horse is a vote to legalize the brewing of your own alcoholic beverages. Just as long as you get certification to do so, which means you'd have to go to a class and learn the proper way to make booze and such. And it would be pretty inexpensive, you know. But yeah, I'd make it happen. Oh shoot, what happened? Okay. I look away for a second and everything disappeared. Oh, it's been 2 hours and Jessica, are you still here? She's screaming, "Yeah, I'm around!" with all caps. I remember the last stream that you were a part of. I said if you were there in the next stream, I would bring up more of my creepy illustrations with more creepy stories. I didn't bother doing it in my last stream because you weren't present. But do you want to do it again now that you're here? Skullheads, you should look into sick animation music, Black Horse. If not on stream, then you should off stream. Sick animation music. Okay. Well, I'm gonna BRB really quick, and then I'll look up one of the creepy illustrations and tell the story that goes along with it. But I'll be right back. And I'm back, and the music died out. Oh wait, there it is. Okay. All right. Go ahead and get rid of this, and let me pull up one of these stories or these illustrations. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and pull up. Okay, this one's going to be kind of long. Hold on, I'm just kind of briefly going over it. Yeah, that might be a little too long. Um, okay, maybe I should tell one of my sister's stories. Or wait, no, this one. Oh shoot, I don't know what to go with. Which one to go with? Um, okay, all right. For those of you who are unaware, you've already heard me talk about my other pseudonyms. There's me, there's Natus underscore 01, there's Behawk, and then there's Rule 34 Rocks. But those are pretty much like me and my pornographic pseudonyms. What a lot of people don't know is that there is another pseudonym that's already lurking around out there that I haven't like made public yet. But I've been working on that pseudonym for a while now, and I create artwork and write stories under the pseudonym. And I'm still working on the whole like story writing process thing, and it's still coming along. But yeah, uh, but here's one of the illustrations. Well, I'll show you like a few of the illustrations that I have. Um, let's see. Let me pull up one. I can't remember which one I showed. Okay, yeah. Now, as Jessica has already heard, I've already told the story behind this one, and like a personal creepy story of mine. And where are you? This one. Now, the both of these are personal spooky stories that I've had like more or less happen to me, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell this one. Okay. Now the now the story behind this one is that um, this story takes place at my grandmother's place, and we call it the sheep camp because at my grandmother's place, like she lives on the reservation, and on the reservation, our grandparents raised sheep, so we called our grandparents' place the sheep camp. And during this one summer, this one time, I was staying there, me and my family, and there were like a lot of other family members there. And I think we are there for some sort of get together, but there was quite a number of us. And usually, during the day, we'll let the sheep out to go graze and everything, and just just like so they can get fattened up and whatever. And like just letting them graze all day, and toward the evening they know when to come back, and we'll just herd them in. But as we're herding them in, this well like we weren't there, but when they got herded in into the sheep corral this late afternoon, um, someone had noticed that there was a strange ram among the rest of our sheep. Now, for those who don't know, like a ram is like a male sheep, and there was like an extra ram in there that we didn't know who belonged to. And for those who don't know, like on the reservation, um, when you brand sheep, you don't like actually like brand the flesh or anything because if you do that, the wool would just like overgrow that brand. So like usually you just brand cattle or horses because their pelt is so like short that you can visually see the brand. But you don't do that to sheep because like the wool would just overgrow it. So what you do with sheep is that you like mark them with like a dye, and like you dye them. You dye their wool with like your specific family's brand. And this is a ram that wasn't branded, and we've never seen this ram before, and we weren't sure who it belonged to because again, like there was no brand on this ram. So we decided like you know what, we can't keep this ram in with the rest of our sheep because we gotta like keep it separate. So a lot of us came down to the sheep corral, and we were trying to like separate this ram from the rest of the herd, and it was more difficult than it should have been. And it took us a while to separate the ram from the herd, and we were able to get it out of the corral before like sundown or whatever. And it took quite a while of doing, but we finally got it separated from the herd and got it out of the corral. And this ram, it just like it took off running toward the horizon. And we thought it best to like you know what, we got to catch this ram because we don't know who it belongs to. It may belong to one of our neighbors, so we better catch it up and put it in one of the empty corrals that we have like here or there, like on the sheep camp. And because if we let it alone after sundown, um, we're not sure if like a coyote will get to it. So one of my aunties, there was still a horse that was saddled up, and she jumped on the horse and chased after this ram, and this ram kept like running toward the horizon. And it's pretty amazing how fast this like sheep or this ram was running, and it took her a while to finally catch up to the well. She didn't quite catch up to it. Like this ram kept running toward the horizon, and it like ran over this hill, and she was running after it with her horse, and it was pretty surprising like how she wasn't able to catch up to it pretty quickly, like this being just like a ram like smaller than a horse, and her just chasing after this ram on the horse just more or less full tilt. But she lost sight of it after it went over this hill. But once she got over the hill, like on top of the hill, you're pretty much able to see like everything. But when she got over this hill, like there was no ram in sight. Like the ram had disappeared. Like there were sage brushes here and there, but as she looked around, like there was like absolutely no ram like there to be seen. And all she did see was just an owl that looked at her and flew away. And that was it. Is like the ram had just disappeared. But like my family had contacted a medicine man to see what was going on, like what had transpired that day. And he did his little ceremony and like just looked into the situation from what my family had told him. And he had said that ram was a skinwalker, and it was like taking on the appearance of a ram. And he said that if we had left it in with the rest of our sheep that night, it would have killed our whole flock of sheep. And that was its intent. And sure, like we could have left that ram in with the sheep for that night and just like separated it from the herd in the morning and just figured out who that ram belonged to um, that very next day. But I guess some of the either like our grandparents or like our uncles just had like a weird feeling about that ram, and for some reason felt it necessary to separate that ram from the rest of the herd before the sun went down and find out who it belonged to in the morning. And the medicine man said that if we had not done that, if we had not separated the that one particular ram from the herd, that that it would have slaughtered the rest of our sheep. And yes, in fact, that it was a skinwalker that had was trying to hide among our flock in order to kill it later in the night. And just knowing that one of my aunt was chasing it over the hill, the ram had disappeared, and I guess that's when it when it when it was out of her line of sight. That's when it turned into an owl, and it just flew away afterwards. And yeah, that's the more or less the story behind this illustration. um, Skullhead is saying a few things like, "Oh shit," reminding me of Ito with that one. The second one, Shona. I mean, medicine men are still around, and damn, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, we still have medicine men. They still practice, and actually, if I were to follow traditional heritage, I would be a medicine man because my family were all medicine men, and my uncle still runs ceremonies. Some of my cousins were raised to be medicine men, and it it, it sucks because I feel that my family is like one of the most cursed families in the whole four corners of the Navajo reservation. And me myself, I've been cursed like several times, even as a child. There were several curses placed on me with the intent to have me die. The earliest curse that was placed on me that I can remember was as a young boy, like I started having these severe cramps in my stomach, and I would just cry and wail a lot of the time, and just complain about this severe pain in my stomach. And my parents, being concerned, they took me to a medical doctor, and the doctor would do his checkup on me and his examination and say that there was nothing wrong with me, and not sure like why I was in such pain. And so afterwards, like my parents sought the counsel of a medicine man, and he did his prayers and did his mystical things. I can't really go too much into detail because one of my traditional values is that I'm not allowed to talk about the goings on in the medicine men practices in our cultural beliefs, because to do so would um, it would uh, I guess dissipate the magic in it. So that being said, like the medicine man did his thing, and he said that someone had placed a curse on me, like another family had placed a curse on me because he like the whoever placed the curse on me wasn't they didn't like my parents. So in order to get back at my parents, a curse was put on me that would cause me to uh, I guess suffer or die. And the medicine man told my father at that time to look under the mobile home that we were living in. So my father at that time, like him and his brother, went under our mobile home, under the trailer. They took some flashlights and they looked around, and what they found was a sheep intestine, and it was tied at both ends. And I guess that specific curse was to cause some like sort of intestinal blockage in my system. And so they had to dig around under the mobile home, and I guess they found this patch of like freshly dug dirt, and when they dug it up, that's when they found that sheep intestine that was tied at both ends. And when they found it, they took it to the medicine man, and he explained what the curse was supposed to do, and that I had to get a ceremony done right away. And at that time, I was still suffering these severe intestinal cramps and stomach pains. And so we had to have this ceremony done. And after it was done, I was fine. But afterwards, like there are certain foods that I'm not allowed to eat, because if I eat them, that will undo the ceremony that was done. And then when that's done, like I'll have to suffer that same curse again. So there are specific foods like, well, they're traditional foods, and these traditional foods I'm not allowed to eat, and it sucks because like my family, like they enjoy like this specific traditional dish. And um like after the ceremony, some of my family members would ask why I don't eat like this specific food, and that it's so good, it's so delicious and everything. It's like, oh no, I'm not allowed to eat it. And when after we had to explain why, it's like everyone knows that I'm not allowed to eat that specific dish, because if I do so, then that would just bring the curse all the way back. So right now, I guess I live with this barrier around my existence, and that prevents the curse from attacking me. And if I eat this specific food item, that would just undo everything and bring that curse back. And I've had to live through several curses. Some of them, like I didn't have to go through a ceremony. Like curses, like many other things, over time they dissipate. And there were like several curses that were put on me that were made specifically made for me to go crazy and have me kill myself. But thankfully, I never had to go through with that. And I guess I just have like a strong sense of will or something. But there were several times where like things got pretty iffy, and I just either I just have like the strong sense of will, or just maybe perhaps I'm meant for greater things. But I guess we'll see. We'll see in the end. But I don't know. Like, yeah, that's one of them. I guess I could do another one. Wait, let's see if this story is up there. No, it's not. I can do another one if you guys want. Let me see if this story is. Oh, there they are. Wait, no, that's not it. Okay, one more for Chris, Jessica, and then bed. I have this story written up. Some, oh, there it is. Okay. Oh no. Where is this story? Hold on. Shoot, there was a rewrite I had, but it's not here. It must be somewhere else. I'm gonna have to rewrite it all over again. but I'm trying to. I guess I'll find another another one. Like I have these stories just spread out spread out everywhere. Okay. Oh shoot, which one? Okay, this is like my sister's story. I'm not sure which one to go with. Go with this one. Now this is something that happened to my sister. Okay, when my sister, some of you might know her as NSIS, who maintained one of my Natus art threads on 8chan before that thread was, or before that website was reworked, and I don't know, that original thread is gone. I don't know where it is, but some of you may know her as NSIS, and this is one of her stories. This is my younger sister. Um, Now, when she was young, and we had, this is after we had our, oh, Skullhead remembers her, and this is after we had moved uh, our mobile home to the reservation. So this story takes place after my whole baseball story that Jessica may remember, the the ghost in the baseball field, the ghost in the outfield. So this is after our family moves their um, moved our mobile home to the reservation, and I was, where was I at this time? I think I was living with one of my uncles, but or maybe I was in college. But anyway, like when my sister was young, after they moved the trailer to the reservation, she would hang out with one of my other cousins from our stepdad side. And what they would do when they were kids would be to camp out in like the front or backyard. They would just pop one of the tents and just like sleep in that tent in either the front or backyard or whatever, and just like have that have their own little sleepover in that sense. And they did this a lot and just have their fun and whatnot. And yeah, like okay, so this specific story takes place, I guess, maybe after I was in while I was in college, because she was in high school, and she's on the res with our parents, and then and then that cousin comes over this one time, and she has this idea to like camp out in the like the on the dirt in the front yard somewhere, and she wanted to do this like kind of like a kind of nostalgic thing, because they did it as kids or whatever, and just like our cousin is like telling her like, come on, let's go camp out and outside like we did when we were kids, and just like tell stories or whatever. And my sister is having this really apprehensive feeling, like she tends to get these feelings when like something bad is going to happen. And we do believe that this is one of the abilities she was able to inherit from our mother. And I guess I could get into that later, but um, we both believe that all of our siblings, us as well as we were born with these innate inherited abilities thanks to our mom. And one of her abilities is that she's able to sense, like have this extra sensory like perception of like things around her. And usually when she gets the sense that something bad is going to happen, something bad usually does happen. But during this one time, this is like when she was just more or less still getting used to that. Like she had this foreboding feeling not to camp outside, like not to do this one thing. And our cousin was just very persistent on like having this little camp out session, just kind of like relive their childhood. And my sister was more or less against it, but it took a lot of convincing. But finally, my sister gave in or caved in and just kind of like, you know what? All right, let's do that, because she more or less just brushed these foreboding feelings aside, and just like thinking like it's all in her head. So they grab the tent, drag it outside somewhere out in the front. They take it across like this little dirt road that connects our our trailer at the time, our mobile home, to like our grandparents, or my our stepdad's mother, so like our grandparents' place. And they take it out across the little dirt road, or that little dirt patch, and they pop the tent there, and they just get their sleeping bags and whatever. And so after the sun sets, they're just like in there talking back and forth, talking about stories, talking about high school life, talking about boys, this and that. And my sister is doing her best to try to enjoy her time with her cousin, but she still gets this foreboding sense that they shouldn't be out there. Like something keeps bugging at her, and like she keeps brushing it off as like this weird, silly feeling. Like there's no reason for her to feel this apprehension, because try she might, she just tries to brush it off and wants to enjoy her time with our cousin. And they continue on in the night, and it gets pretty dark, it gets pretty late, and they're still talking. And as they do, like my sister notices that everything gets pretty quiet outside. Like like there's no wind, there's no um, movement happening outside, and like it's just really quiet. And then the both of them just kind of like there's a gap in the conversation. It's just very eerily still. And then a few beats later, they hear like a noise coming from outside, and it's pretty late in the night, so they're pretty sure like no one should be up at this time. But they hear something shuffling around the like the pickup that's a few yards from where their tent is put up. And my sister quiets our cousin, and they're just listening, and they hear something just shuffling around the pickup. And our cousin, being the bold individual she is, like she shouts out like, "Hey, you better stop, you better cut that out, or I'm going to come out and kick your ass." Because she's under the assumption that it's one of our other younger siblings, or one of our other little cousins that's just trying to freak them out. And my sister gives her this look that just pretty much says like, "Don't say anything." And so they quiet down, and like there's still this shuffling going on. And so my sister just kind of like quietly zips down um, the uh, the zipper on the tent, and they open the flap a little bit, and they're looking to see what's making this sound. And the both of them, when they look out, they see this creature in the like digging around in the back of one of the broken down pickups, like right outside where they're camping. And my sister described this creature to me, and she said it was this like really lanky, just sinewy, scrawny uh, creature just in the back of the pickup, like it's digging around, like the back of the pickup looking for something. Now this broken up pickup, like since it's broken down, like our family just came accustomed to just like throwing things in the back of the pickup, more of like somewhat of a dumpster, but for the most part they just kind of like throw empty like aluminum cans or tools or whatever in the back of the pickup. And this black, skinny creature is just digging in the back of it. And as they're looking, like the creature stops moving. And then it's like my sister gets the sense that it knows that it's been spotted. And as it stops moving, like it slowly just turns its head. And my sister describes this thing like as you're seeing now, it's got these like saucer shaped eyes, and the thing that she remembers most is just the wide, toothy, sharp, this wide, sharp tooth, the grin on its face, and it's just like staring back at them. And besides that, it's like the she said that the skin that it had, like she's not sure if it was just skin or like its fur or anything, but there was no light that could escape the the darkness on its skin. And she's saying that like the when she explained the scene to me, like the house lights were on. So with the house lights, both from both our mobile home and our grandmother's place, like she's thinking that it should be reflecting something, whether it be skin or fur. Like there should be like some sort of light just kind of sheening off the texture of the skin or the fur. But she said like there was no light that it was reflecting, that it was just pure black. And um and uh, it was just a pure black figure. It didn't reflect any light whatsoever. And she's saying that the eyes were glowing this really eerie green glow, and like the feature that she remembered most was just the wide sharp tooth grin that it reflected back to them. And as she's looking, she's just in disbelief at what she's seeing. And it's only there for like perhaps like a few beats, and then when it seems that like the creature is like known that it's being looked at, it just takes one jump from the back of the pickup over the front of the pickup, lands on the ground on the other side, and just like runs on 2 feet, like around the the mobile home. And without missing a beat, my sister just tears her way out of the tent and runs after the thing, and runs where like behind the mobile home where the creature had disappeared from. And when she gets there, it's gone, and there's no sight of it whatsoever. And to this day, she's not sure exactly what she's seen. But an interesting note is that she had brought a friend over to this apartment while I was in prison, and she was just showing off like the apartment and just like showing off this and that. And she had like her friend had like seen like this pile of drawings and asked to see like will he asked if he could look through them. And my sister like yeah, sure, you can look through them, they're my brother's drawings. And as he's looking through all these illustrations, all the creepy illustrations I've been doing, he comes across this specific drawing, and he stops like flipping through, and he's just staring at it. And he's saying like, what is this thing? And then my sister explains like, oh, that's an illustration that my brother drew from one of my stories that I told him. And she said that this is like a creature that she had seen. And he's no stranger to that reservation. He's like he actually grew up there or whatever, and he's been there several times. But he said like he's seen this exact same creature on one of his trips to the reservation. And he had to take a picture of it and share it to like I guess another individual that was there who had seen this creature. And I guess this is a creature that that's been seen on our reservation, like perhaps every now and then. And it's pretty creepy too, because like There is someone I follow on one of my channels. His name is oh shoot, I can't remember his name right now. Chills. Chills. He reads like a lot of creepy stories, but I guess he's read this one story where like he sees something in the woods, and what he describes is this particular creature, just like black as night, no light seems to reflect or escape its hide, and it's got these saucer shaped eyes with this wide sharp tooth grin. So this thing has got to be a cryptid of some sort that's just in existence somewhere out there that lives either on the reservation or out there in the wilderness as well. But yeah, it's pretty creepy. So yeah, that's I guess the last one for now. um, Skullhead's asking if there's a specific creature for, or specific name for a creature like this. I don't think we have one, but another like quick note about this thing is that I think my little brother, shot it one night, and I do have another story about that, but I guess I'll save that for next time. Jessica says, and now she's scared. Good night. Sorry, Jessica. I hope you have pretty decent dreams. Please don't, please don't have any nightmares. I wish you all the sweetest of dreams, and have a good Labor Day morning. And I do apologize if you have any nightmares, but sweet dreams, Jessica. Good night. And Cal Arkin says he's traumatized. All right, let's get to playing a little music. I'll finish my beer and do a few more details on this frame, and I think I'll call it on the 3 hour mark. Whoops. Larkin's asking me if I have ever gotten to action script. I did a little bit when I was this is back in the day when you had to learn how to do like preloading screens when submitting flash animations to any website. You had to have a preloader, and I also did like a few little, you can't quite call them games, but I remember I animated this like this dancing loli animation where you could remove her shirt and pants or whatever as she continued to dance, and that's more or less the extent of my action scripting. Skullhead says I'm up till the end of the stream, and plus, Calarka says he can't get his head around action scripting. I guess they've, I guess they continue. Well, like, through each iteration of Flash, they kept changing the action scripting language. So once you learned action scripting in one version of Flash, you'd have to learn it all over again for the next version of Flash. From what I understand, I might be wrong, but that's what I've been told. So I never really learned too much action scripting. Just the most is like just learning how to make a button and making those button plays or play specific scenes or go to specific scenes. Go to and play frame 27 of whatever scene. Oh, Carol Arkin's been wanting to do what Zone does for years. Scarlett says Zone has been doing it for a while. Wonder how he keeps up. Money, obviously, the motivator. Yeah, I enjoy Zone's work, but his stance on like anti-lowly material is a little contradictive, I believe. Like I don't know why he's taking that stance, especially when some of the characters he's animated in the past are of the lowly genre. I don't know if he's still got that stance, but I remember there was a time where he was like anti-lowly. Is like, wait, how can you be anti-lowly when you've animated like I think the character is Minerva from Legend of Zelda Twilight and Toph from The Last Airbender. Yeah, Cal Larkin just brought her up. I don't know if he still has that stance, but I remember he was. There was like some sort of like animated announcement where like he was that more or less stated that he was anti-lowly. He's like, what? No, you're not. Come on. Cal Larkin says, I thought the rules changed on his network and the sound clips were of a child voice actor, so it had to be removed. Well, wait. The Toph animation? Ah, well, if that's the case, I guess I could see if he could have gotten some flack for that. Yeah, I didn't take that into consideration. Oh gosh, this keeps flickering out. Okay, what's going on? And shit. Uh, yeah, Adobe Animate will glitch out like that a lot. Oh, I don't know if Cal Larkin saw these yet. Yeah, these are the characters for that fan-made animation I'm working on, and these are closer to the style that I'm pretty sure I'm going to animate them in. Cool. Roommate's telling me that the food's ready. I might start signing this thing off. But here on the left we have uh, Bedelia Bree O'Keefe. Here in the center we have Beatrice, Claire Emmanuel. And here we have Rose B. Gardner. Cal Arkin says, like, the one where I spilled the beans? Like, yes. So no more details on this just yet. But this is me just like trying to finalize or lock down a style where I feel like they're easy to animate and just their characteristics, their physical characteristics are more diverse. So I feel like it's a lot more solid in these designs. So I'm going to start working on this when I get this piece complete. I'm hoping to finish this pretty soon, and I'm hoping to release it maybe later this week if I stay at it. Pretty ambitious, but we'll see if I can get it done. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start signing this off so I can have some foods, eat some foods. So for those who are tuning in on this later, well, first off, I want to thank all the people who participated in the chat. It's always a pleasure just interacting with you, with all you peeps. So thank you, Skullhead, Cal Larkin, Jessica Dockfire, and yeah, that was it. I thought there was someone else, but no. Oh yeah, that's right. I was thinking Concept Sama was gonna pop up, but I guess he's busy. But anyway, yeah. Thanks to all those who participated in chat. It's always awesome interacting with you. And for those who are just tuning in, if you want to support like more videos like this or more artwork content from me, I have a Patreon page, and that link is in the it's in the description section below. So visit my Patreon. I got a lot of free content there. If you like what you see, then think about clicking that become a patron button. Oh, excuse me. And I do have a lot of content on my blog. And there are certain I guess there are images on my Patreon page that you can't quite access unless you become a patron, and those are like full resolution scans. But I do have lower resolution images available on my blog, so you can check that out for like more free content. That link will also be in the description below. And if Patreon's not your thing, I also have a GoFundMe account. So if you still want to donate a few bucks here and there, then that link will also be there for those who want to continue or like help support me in that way. And I'm also a member of DeviantArt, Fur Affinity, and Ink Bunny. And if you're a member of any of those sites, um, you can follow me and message me, note me, or whatever. Like just those links will also be in the description section below. So if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, that's about it. So, like always, I'll check you all later. See you guys. Hasta la pasta, says Cal Atkins. And Scarlett says, sounds good. Enjoy your meal. Yes, I will. So I'll check you all later. Bye.